Brandon Herrera. Brandon Joseph Herrera, born November 20th, 1995, also known as the AK Guy, is an American YouTuber and firearms manufacturer whose videos primarily focus on firearms. Herrera was a candidate in the race to represent Texas's 23rd congressional district in 2024, but lost approximately 1 percentage point to incumbent Tony Gonzalez in the Republican primary runoff. On August 9th, 2025, Herrera announced his decision to run again for the seat in an election that will be held in 2026. Early life. Brandon Joseph Herrera was born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to a family originating from Texas. Both his parents are military veterans. Herrera attended Campbell University, where he studied pre-law before dropping out to run his firearms manufacturing business. He moved to San Antonio in early 2021. Career. YouTube. Started in 2014, Herrera's YouTube channel focuses on testing and reviewing firearms. Subjects of his videos include tests of antique and military weapons such as the AK-47 and RPG-7, discussions about gun laws and politics, and a series recreating the assassinations of public figures including John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. His videos often feature guests who have served in the military, though Herrera himself is not a military veteran. In 2024, Herrera released a rifle he and his team engineered called the AK-50, an AK-47 platform rifle chambered in 50 BMG, in order to blend the durability and power of the two separately. The gun was later added to the video game Escape from Tarkov. In the aftermath of the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting, an alleged manifesto by the perpetrator referenced Herrera, stating the two had met at SHOT Show. Herrera harshly condemned the shooting and perpetrator, stating that he and his friends who attend SHOT Show have zero recollection of ever meeting this creep. The National Shooting Sports Foundation, the organizers of SHOT Show, released a statement in which they detailed there is no record or evidence the shooter ever attended any year of the event. Unsubscribe Podcast. On November 17th, 2023, Herrera officially joined the Unsubscribe Podcast as a co-host. The podcast features himself alongside fellow YouTubers Donut Operator, Eli Doubletap, and The Fat Electrician. The podcast has raised thousands for different charities focusing from autism and veteran mental health. They also donated $10,000 to the Family Justice Center after an episode guest, Buffalo Police Department Detective Richard High, aka Angry Cops, aka The Influencer, accused Buffalo Public Schools of covering up abuse. The podcast has since hosted an episode in the Pentagon and had prominent guests including Army Secretary Daniel P. Driscoll, Governor of Maryland Wes Moore, and Medal of Honor recipient Clint Romeshay. A reoccurring joke among Herrera's fan base portrays him as a highly decorated war hero, despite Herrera never serving in the military. This satirical narrative is prominently featured in Unsubscribed Podcast Veterans Day episodes, where his veteran co-host and guest humorously exaggerate his fictitious combat accolades. The joke is further perpetuated through references to the parody website forcedvalor.com, where his fictitious adventures are cataloged. Politics. On June 23, 2023, Herrera testified at a field hearing led by Representative Matt Gaetz on the subject of alleged overreach by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. On March 19, 2024, Herrera spoke outside the Colorado State Capitol to around 400 people and later testified inside to the Colorado legislature against a proposed assault weapons ban. On July 7, 2025, Herrera appeared on Fox News to discuss the impact and effects of the July 2025 Central Texas floods. Herrera has described himself as libertarian-leaning, often emphasizing gun rights and limited government, but has generally aligned himself with right-wing populists such as Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz. He also appealed to anti-establishment voters in the primaries. Herrera is also a staunch supporter of U.S. President Donald Trump, having worked on the 2016 Trump campaign and has voted for Trump each year. 2024 congressional election. In August 2023, Herrera, a Republican, announced he would run for the U.S. House to represent Texas's 23rd congressional district in 2024, citing frustration in incumbent Tony Gonzalez's votes and gun policy. In the primary, Herrera received 25% of the vote, while Gonzalez received 45%. As no candidate received more than 50%, a runoff was held between the two, where Herrera lost by 354 votes. Herrera called for a recount, saying, "I don't expect the results to change, but I feel I owe it to my volunteers, voters, and supporters to leave no stone unturned." Several political action committees from outside of Texas donated millions of dollars to Gonzalez's campaign against Herrera. AIPAC accused Herrera of having glorified Nazis and mocked the Holocaust in his YouTube videos. After the primary, U.S. Term Limits, a congressional term limits advocacy group, tapped Herrera to be their Texas chair. 2026 congressional election. On August 9, 2025, Herrera announced a second campaign in the 2026 United States House of Representatives election. Criticism. Herrera's content often contains self-described dark and politically incorrect humor. He co-hosts a podcast described by the Houston Chronicle as displaying offensive commentary or repeats racist stereotypes, such as an episode where he joked he was essentially a military veteran because he often thought of putting a gun in his mouth. Tony Gonzalez criticized Herrera, saying that there was a special place in hell for scum and villainy who mock veteran suicide. Herrera responded to the attacks, explaining both in the episode including the joke, and later that he brought the joke up when describing how he didn't say it while speaking at a veteran suicide awareness panel. A handful of his YouTube videos have parodied Nazi imagery and included jokes about Nazis and the Holocaust. He clarified in the video that he made really fucked up jokes, saying he did so to encourage his audience to learn from and not repeat history. He adds that he is not really a big fan of fascism. In one 2020 video, he sarcastically referred to the MP40, a submachine gun developed by Nazi Germany, as the original ghetto blaster. The video, which takes a sarcastic tone, includes a montage of Herrera and an associate firing the weapon, goose-stepping to Erica. Herrera suggests in the video that he is aware of the connotations of Erica. Herrera says in the video, "If you're one of the few people out there that realize there's absolutely nothing wrong with the song we just used, and it's just a bunch of soldiers singing about a pretty girl they miss at home." Another video, covering historical weapons in the Rhodesian Bush War, featured the flag of Rhodesia, a symbol co-opted by white nationalists. Herrera responded to criticism, saying, "This should be obvious, but I am not, nor have I ever been, a neo-Nazi." Since at least 2013, Herrera has also been a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, a neo-Confederate organization that promotes the lost cause and has ties to white supremacist groups. He appeared in welcome videos produced by the organization where he referred to the American Civil War varyingly as the War of Northern Aggression and the War for Southern Independence, and advertised the group's annual Yankee Shoot, where members used antique rifles to shoot at posters of their favorite Yankees. Brandon's support for the Sons of Confederate Veterans organization was stated in the videos, citing the need to preserve history because those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.